The word that comes to me is like a sweet country to live in. Like
Sweet.
it's a sweetness to life here. There's a simpleness to life, but without having to give up on comfort. I'm Mikaela Övénm. I'm the founder of Academia de Parentalidade Consciente, the Conscious Parenting Academy, and author of several books on mindfulness and on parenting. And I talk and speak about conscious parenting and mindfulness every single day. And now I've been talking to Dylan about all these things and the link that they have to my experience in Portugal. We talked about inferiority complex and how we contribute to that. We talked about parenting. We talked about the simple life in Portugal in general. And I hope you enjoy our conversation.
Welcome back, or welcome to another episode of Portugal, the Simple Life. And I'm really delighted to be joined here by Mikaela Övénm. Mikaela, hello. Welcome to the podcast. Thanks for being on the show.
Hi there, Dylan. Thank you for having me.
You're very, very welcome. We are experiencing, strangely enough, some chilly weather in Portugal.
Yep.
For you, a little bit colder because you're there in the north.
Yeah.
We're separated by, I don't know, maybe 200, 300 kilometers. I'm near to
300,
Nazaré.
around 300 kilometers. Yeah.
Yeah, so but this is
Yeah,
the beauty of Zooms. We can just do this kind of stuff. So it's
exactly.
nice. But Michaela, maybe you can start off telling us a little bit about you.
I'm Swedish. I came to Portugal 22 and a half years ago. So I've been here for quite a long time. The reason I came to Portugal was because of my husband, who is Portuguese. So that was a long time ago. So it's very much home nowadays. And well, I work. I usually say that I work. I write and I talk about parenting and about mindfulness. Those are my big areas. So I give a lot of training. I write books in everything in Portuguese. I do nothing in Swedish.
Wow.
There's some things in English. But yeah, so that's what I do here. And I'm the mother of three children. My daughter lives in Amsterdam nowadays. So at home we have two boys and a dog. And yeah, that's about it.
It's a good place to start.
Yeah.
Um, what were the things that besides the obvious with your husband, but what were the things that kept you here?
You know, I often say that I'm a luxury immigrant. And I'll explain what I mean by
Yeah,
that.
okay.
Because I've always been really, really well treated in Portugal. The way that I've been received as at least as a person from the north of Europe, has been always with a huge amount of respect, of curiosity, of a very positive view of the fact that I want to live in Portugal. Like people really, they often say that, yeah, it must be because of the sun, but it's not. It's because of the people, of the simplicity, humbleness, I think that exists here, the possibilities that exist here. The word that comes to me is like a sweet country to live in. Like
Sweet.
it's a sweetness to life here. There's a simpleness to life, but without having to give up on comfort.
You've been here almost just as long as you were in Sweden, I think, if I'm doing my math correctly.
It's not half my life yet, but it's almost. I've been here for 22 years. I'm 47. I came here in 2001.
Wow. Okay. I mean, Michaela, how do you think Portugal has changed you?
It also humbled me a lot because, as I said, I've been here for so long now that I've seen the progress that Portugal has made in 20 years is really amazing. And when I look at Sweden, Sweden is like in a retrocess. Like Sweden is not as good. Like the level of life in Sweden, in my opinion, nowadays is not as good as when I was a kid, for example. You know, growing up in the 80s, beginning in the, yeah, mainly 80s, like it was, Sweden was flourishing. Like this is my personal view, right? That I think
Of
that
course.
Sweden has gone back, but and this is something I've said often here in Portugal, like even if people complain, you have to realize that Portugal is always getting better, is still in the getting better phase. And I've enjoyed that a lot to see how things have developed. And
Well, I mean, just tell us a little bit about your work, Michaela, and how that all started and what you're doing.
right. So I work with, so I give training and I talk publicly and write about conscious parenting. That's what I call it, conscious parenting. My wish is for saying only parenting, but we still need a differentiation here in Portugal from traditional parenting for more conscious parenting, which could also be called like intentional parenting, thinking about why we do what we do, basically. So I started with that when my children were small
Okay.
because of a personal necessity, basically. I was very interested in relationships. So I started studying and taking courses, and then I started writing about it in public, and started getting people wanting me to give training and to talk about these things. So and then I thought, hey, I'm really enjoying this, and I'm like developing my own concept that I started sharing, and it was really well received. So that's how it continued. So then I got a well, actually several publishers wanted to publish books with me, and I chose one. And so now the eighth book is coming out in March. So it's a lot. It's been this
Amazing.
personal need that I had that I started fulfilling myself, and then sharing turned out to turn into my profession.
Looking for a home in Portugal? This break in Portugal, the Simple Life podcast, is brought to you by Dylan and his team of certified realtors at Portugal Realty. Portugal Realty offers the exclusive Simple Life home buyer program. Visit portugalrealty.com today and book your free call to find out more. Welcome to the Simple Life.
I mean, for you, and when you were talking about this, coming back to you and your life in Portugal, when you were speaking about sweetness, can you unpack that a little bit? What makes life sweet? What is that sweetness that you were referring to for your life here?
Oh, for my life, I really, there's so many things that are good about my life here. So that's the general feeling. But I live really close to the beach. I walk every day. I go to the beach to walk my dog, and there's especially this time of year, I hardly meet anyone. Like today, when I went there, I didn't meet anyone. I was just there. I mean, my dog. In the summer, it's different, but it's sweetness also because it's slower. I guess if you live in Lisbon or in Santo Porto, it's not as slow as where I live, but that kind of slowness gives a sweetness to it, and also this now the simplicity of many people. I think it's sweet.
What do you think Portuguese people should be proud of with their country?
I think they should be proud of the fact that things have gotten so much better for everyone in such a short time. I think they should be proud of their culture and their traditions. I think they should be proud. There's a lot of intelligent people here, like really smart people. There's a lot of Portuguese people that are anonymously working on really big things, like even abroad. And I think it also they should be proud of their simplicity. I think that's a good thing. I think many people have to learn like us from outside. We can learn about that, and also that there's a often Portuguese people are described as I'm going to say the Portuguese word because I can't find the English
That's
word
okay.
now. Maybe you can help me. São desenrascados.
Yeah.
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 So they
Finding a way,
out
improvising,
of anything, right? They're
improvising. Yeah.
very yeah, they improvise and they find really good solution for complex thing in very short time.
Yeah.
Usually because they're not very proactive, so they
They
have
have
to
to
solve things. And I think
react.
it's such and when I talked about flexibility before, it was a little bit of that I think I've learned
Hmm.
also from them that I don't always have to use my Swedish culture of planning everything so long in advance and being so proactive and being so organized.
Hmm.
It's also a great value in being able to find a solution on the spot. And I think
Yeah.
they're
Interesting.
very, very good at that. I think they should be proud of that. And I think that's us foreigners here and other people can learn a lot from that too.
Yeah. Yeah. True story. Mikaela, what's one thing that you would like people to remember and take away from our conversation?
Wow. Oh, that's a really hard question. I think that one thing that I would like to pass on, and we didn't really talk about that, but I'll take the opportunity, is to get involved in Portuguese society and don't live in a bubble, in a foreigner bubble. And I feel that many foreigners here, they don't really engage in Portuguese culture. They don't respect it enough, I think. And we sometimes try to influence things that we should just stay out of, as so I think that like we have a really good life here in Portugal, and I think it's like we can really do it. And I wish that we could do it sometimes more in the Portuguese terms and not in our, because I think that we promote the inferiority complex sometimes in the Portuguese too. I certainly did that in the beginning when I came here. I thought that I came and Sweden was better in so many things, and that was my my process of becoming more humble as well. So that's something I would like to tell, I really
like that.
feel I belong here. I do that because of the way that people have been treating me so well. But I think that I promoted the inferiority complex in the beginning when I was here.
Interesting. Yeah, that makes sense. Mikaela, a question that we ask all of our guests: Portugal, the simple life. Why?
I think that it's a country of possibilities, of the possibility of creating a really good life where you can take care of what is yours, but you can also contribute a lot to the society.
Wonderful. I like that. Thank you for being on the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
And I'm going to let you call it.
Thank you.
Okay. So thank you once again to our guest, and thank you to all of you for listening. Please subscribe, share with your friends, give us a thumbs up, and please leave a comment or a review. We always love to hear from you. Don't forget, Portugal The Simple Life also has a magazine, so download it. It's for free. We'll be back next week with a brand new episode, and as we say in Portugal, sejas bem-vindo. Welcome to The Simple Life.